Hello everyone, I am Smita Kaushik, AVP Netcore Labs. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you to the second season of For the Love of Email Thursdays, or as we call it, For the Love FTLOE Thursdays. In season 1, we explored multiple tangents of modern email marketing landscape. I want to take this moment to thank all of our speakers, attendees, and last but not the least, our Netcore community for making it such a huge success. We wanted to follow up season 1 with even much more exciting conversations. Here at Netcore Cloud, we have been working on multiple revolutionary product and strategic innovations that are going to transform the way we use email. We are bringing all these innovations to you under the umbrella of Email 2.0. And that's the theme of our second season, which is going to be a 7-part series in which we will introduce the world beyond conventional emails. For episode 1, I am honored to be joined by Mr. Rajesh Jain, founder and group MD, Netcore Cloud. Being the visionary behind Email 2.0, Rajesh today will take us through the uncharted territory of Email 2.0 and how it can bring about a habit revolution. This session will be for 20 minutes, beyond which Rajesh will take questions. You can add your questions in the Q&A box or even add it in the chat. Without further ado, let's welcome Rajesh Jain. Over to you, Rajesh.
Thank you very much, Smita. Hi, everyone. So look forward to our interaction today. So we're going to have some very exciting ideas for you, which we're going to talk about. So essentially, Email 2.0 is about doing two things: solving the attention recession problem and engineering the habit revolution. We'll discuss both. One of the biggest challenges is essentially the fact that there is a major attention recession problem. We are sending messages, customers, prospects are not seeing them. And that's what ends up happening. Unread emails from brands, whether it's in the inbox or any other, or in the email box or any other inbox that they have. As they say, human attention is now less than a goldfish, just about 8 seconds or so. Now, the problem of attention recession, if it is not solved, can lead to retention recession and continuous churn of customers. So it's very important to solve attention recession, because these are the push messages that we are sending out, emails, which essentially help get customers back onto the properties, the website or the apps. And if we don't do that, we end up having to give various discounts, buy one, get one free, etc. All of this have a high cost for the brand. Now, a lot of the focus has really been on driving transactions. But what if we shift it upstream to attention, engagement, habits, all of which together can basically drive hooked customers and subscribers. And that is what leads to transactions. So in the post-acquisition engagement funnel, well, a lot of the focus has really been about how do we get customers to spend money? How do we drive transactions? If we can shift the focus to time, getting the customer's time, that's where attention, engagement, habits come in. That's where we need to drive the power of moments, leverage the moments which are there. So from that momentary attention, how do you create memorable experiences? That's what we're going to discuss in email 2.0. And we got some very good early successes, big basket. And you're going to hear from all of the brands that I mentioned in the coming episodes. Big basket, a 3 times increase in click-through rate, CTR. They used atomic rewards, essentially incentivized, gamified emails. Your story, 5x increase in registrations using AMP, interactive emails. Kotak Bank, a 40% increase in opens using the idea of M's or informative story emails. And in all these cases, Netcore worked as a progency, a product-led agency. This is the new world of email 2.0, which we will cover in the next few minutes. So email 2.0 is about making email an habit. Essentially, what happens is today that brands are sending out emails. The open rates for marketing mails are about 10, 15%, which means 85 to 90% emails are going unread. That is what we need to change. So when we are talking about transforming the world, how are we doing it? So we are focusing on the problem of attention recession. The low opens, low engagement. There's no consistency. You're sending out a mail. You don't know whether the end customer will open it or not. So the behavior is erratic. What we need to look at is how do we make email sticky? So the stickiness solution is what we need to think about. Make email interactions a habit to drive higher ROI. No email ever ignored, every email engaged. That's what we've got to think about. And therefore, I want to introduce the idea of streak in email engagement. And we'll discuss that in a few minutes. So we've got a multiple array of product-led innovations, 3 enhancements, atomic rewards, of course, AMP and EMS. Atomic rewards is a fascinating new idea, which I'll cover right now. And we'll delve deeper into each of these in the coming episodes. And we'll discuss also today a new measurement metric, a hooked score, rather than just clicks and opens. And possibly a new implementation entity, a progency. So email agencies which are there, can they morph into progencies? So what is this habit revolution that I'm talking about? Now, email 1.0 to 2.0, what's the transition? Email 1.0 is about sending. Email 2.0 is ensuring the message gets seen. The mindset in email 1.0 is delete in the inbox of an end customer. Email 2.0 is about delete to delight. Email 1.0 is the marketer hoping that the email gets read. Email 2.0 is about ensuring that the brand, the marketer builds a hotline to every customer. So no message ignored. Email 1.0 is sending occasional messages anytime. Email 2.0 is about sending daily at the same time. So it becomes a habit, especially when we talk about M's. From opens and clicks, the shift towards measuring streak at an individual level via hooked score. Non-interactive to making emails interactive, non-incentivized to making them gamified, the idea of atomic rewards. And that's what creates can create the power of habit. So email 2.0 from Netcore brings together a number of innovations. For better inboxing, we've got interesting technologies like HEPF, which uses AI to manage the sending process, send time optimization, how do you enhance domain reputation, leveraging inbox intelligence. Better attention is about atomic rewards, which we will cover, using BIMI, so the mails stand out in the inbox, subject line optimization, EMS, which also we will cover today, emails sent daily at the same time. And better engagement is about driving interactivity, which again we will cover. Another idea in atomic rewards called brand tokens, and automation and personalization. So you can build scale in what we are doing. So some of these ideas have been leveraged even in the world of email 1.0. What we are doing is bringing them all together with a few innovations to deliver better outcomes, a higher hooked score, reactivation of the dormant inactive subscriber base, and increasing the reach on the email database, on the email lists that brands have. And the idea is the revolution, the movement that we want to spark is upgrading to email 2. So let's go to the first idea of atomic rewards. Incentives for actions. Games, as adults or kids, we all love games. So gamification, this is from Clash of Clans, is a great way of driving specific behavior. I've been playing Clash of Clans thanks to my son for many years. And it's amazing how good games can basically get you back day after day for a long period of time, and micro incentives at different stages to drive the behavior that the game designers want. Gamification works for kids and adults alike. So building on this idea of atomic habits, I'd like to introduce atomic rewards. So micro incentives, not linked with transactions, linked with attention. That's the attention recession solution. So tiny micro incentives for very specific marketer driven actions, behavior, where you reward customers for specific things that you want them to do. To get customers to pay attention, pay them for their attention. Micro incentives again. Or else, if they go dormant or if they churn, you will end up paying Google and Facebook 100 times more to get them again. That's the problem of reacquisition. So in the world of ad tech, half of the budgets are basically being wasted because of reacquisition and wrong customer acquisition. So reacquisition is a problem. Instead of paying Google and Facebook, set aside budgets for your own customers, micro incentives. So this is from a Google study from a few days ago, Google and Boston Consulting Group. 90% of customers will share their email for an incentive. So use the same idea of an incentive for getting actions done. So this is an example in this mail. So this is what we call microns. So microns are basically messages, emails with rewards. There are two changes in this email. There's the subject where you see mu. Mu is a token, a currency, a sort of points, a loyalty program. And then you see the number 972. So this mail which comes to me says I have 972 points. So this ensures that no one can just put the mu and expect the mail to get read. The mu tells me as a recipient that this mail has rewards. And when I open this mail, I get an instant alert at the bottom. You see the 973. So in this case, I get 1 mu for an open. Now the mu can be used for multiple different purposes, as I'll explain. And there's instant updation. So you know that you're getting the points which have been promised. And then of course, there's one click to get it redeemed if you have a certain number of points. And this is sort of early version of what we've made, a mu statement and a mu shop. The mu statement tells the recipient what are the recent actions which have earned points. And in the mu shop, you can go in and redeem points. In this case, whether it's for ebooks or vouchers, or there'll be a wide array of products over time which would be there. So here's a quick case study of Big Basket. Big Basket is one of India's largest e-grocers. So they had done this during Christmas, and we'll be talking, in fact, to Akhil at Big Basket next week to go through in detail. So I'll cover this quickly. So this was sent out to a user base of 50,000 users. And the idea here was that these are first-time users who've not been sent any email before. So the first mail basically explained to them about the idea of mu, and then subsequent mails essentially gave them an incentive. So 1 mu for opening and 10 mu for clicking through to the Big Basket website, explaining to them at every stage the rewards that they can get. So there were 5 mails sent out, including the first introductory mail. And what was the result? A 3 times increase in CTR. That's phenomenal by any standards. And this is where, we all know incentives work. And that's really what the idea of atomic rewards is actually leveraging. And there are multiple places where you can give out atomic rewards in emails. Of course, opens and clicks, in-mail actions. So if you have an interactive mail, as we'll see, if you can collect zero-party data, maybe a mobile number, maybe a PIN code or additional details, and you can give small rewards for that. Getting a rating or getting feedback from the customer, that could be incentivized. Streaks could be incentivized. So if a customer has read, a recipient has read maybe 3 emails in a row, you can say that, look, if you read the next mail, you'll have much greater rewards. if you've played Wordle, you know the idea of streaks. So the idea is here, increase the rewards so that no one likes to lose points. And that's where streaks can make a big difference. And then if you know that the next mail is very likely to be read, that can become a very important message that you want to send out, offer, etc. You can send out in that email. There are multiple benefits for the email program overall. More opens leads to a better domain reputation, higher inboxing, a greater reach. And of course, the broader theme is that there's greater engagement. There are more transactions, you have lower churn, lower inactives, and therefore less deacquisition. In fact, a successful email to and atomic rewards type initiatives can actually lay the foundation for a path to profitability, because you'll actually cut down the spending that you're doing on reacquisition. Atomic rewards can nudge everywhere. So we have talked about emails, but they can be used for push messages. They can be used in SMS. They can be used in push notifications. They can be used in WhatsApp, even on the properties, the website and in-app for specific nudges, for specific behavior that marketers want to be able to drive, and in the physical world. So there are multiple, any place non-transaction linked where you want to get more attention. You want to reward the time that the end customer is spending with you. That's where atomic rewards can come in. So how to implement atomic rewards? There are 3 ways by which it can be done. A brand can do it through its existing loyalty program. So many brands have loyalty programs. You can include rewards in emails directly. So there's some integration, internal integration, which will be required to include this. The only one challenge is that the granularity of rewards may be higher than needed for this case. The second is an idea which we'll be introducing soon from Netcore, brand tokens. This is work only for a single brand. A redemption can basically be converting to brand vouchers once a specific number of tokens are collected. The third program, which we are of course most excited about, is a pan brand program. So it can work across the inbox, across multiple brands, what we call Netcore hooks. So where rewards can be given for attention and engagement. Now, because it is pan brand, end customers can actually earn MU, in this case, earn points much more rapidly, and therefore the attractiveness can be very high. And the redemption can be done at a MU shop. So this can be thought of as a Netcore loyalty program. So that's about atomic rewards. Okay, and we'll hear a lot more in the next week about this. The second idea, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with, is the idea of interactive emails. Think of it as apps inside of emails, basically. Email like people have never seen before, where you can engage and interact with emails. And we'll cover this also in a future episode. Now, this is what we did with Your Story. So Your Story is one of India's premier platforms for startups and entrepreneurs. And this was the one on the left, the static version. Sorry. You can see it, standard email, which we are all used to seeing, a lot of text. And then there's a link to register now, which will take them to the website of Your Story. And that's what you'll have a small form which you can fill in and so on. How does an interactive mail look? You take a look on the right side. Right inside the mail, you can fill in the name and the mobile number, and you get an immediate acknowledgement, no clicking through to the website. So it's like a mini website inside an email. And there are a lot of fun things which can be done, of course, with interactive emails. From the static version to the AMP version, a 5x increase in response rate. Phenomenal. It's emails like we've not seen before. Okay, so that's where we believe there's a tremendous opportunity for brands to use the idea of interactive emails. Now imagine if interactive emails, AMP, can be combined with atomic rewards, small incentives, huge multiplier. So our mission at Netcore is to universalize AMP, make every email AMP enabled. There's no reason for this not to happen. AMP made easy, basically, you can have small amplets. There's an AMP editor which will be introduced shortly from Netcore. Amplets can let AMP components be added to every mail. You see an example on the right where you can have just ask people, what did this mail, was this mail relevant for you? You have a 5 stars, Right there, people can click on the relevant number of stars, give you instant feedback. If you ask them for a click, it'll probably not happen. Do it inside the mail. And again, maybe there's a small reward for it. You start getting feedback. Amplets essentially are components which can be added to every mail. Non-AMP recipients, of course, will get regular mail. So combined with atomic rewards, like I said earlier. Next idea is EMS. So short for emails, of course, but they are short mails, informative mails. So you have transactional mails, you have promotional mails. Now we bring in this idea of informative mails. And there's this magic of micro content. And it builds on this idea from Byron Sharp, where brands look at physical availability, like Coke and Pepsi are there all around us. In the digital world, what about mental availability? How can we do that? And that's where this idea of EMS comes in. It's a new, improved email format for the micro attention customer. Emails just like this, what you're seeing on the screen, short emails, single mobile screen, informative, readable in 15 to 30 seconds, possibly even identified as a short mail in the subject. It's a fresh format and it's a story format. In a series sent daily at the same time, like many media platforms do, you can set the clock by the time you get the mail. So there are many use cases for EMS. Reactivation for dormant users. You can use it for daily branding via content for some of your best customers, pre-purchase, post-purchase moments. Very little of this is happening today. So here's an example. You go and browse a book on a website, and then typically you'll get an email after 2 days which says, you've added a book in your shopping cart, or you showed some interest, do you want to buy it? Instead of that, imagine a 5-day mail. First day, you get an excerpt on the book. Second day, you get reviews about the book. Third day, you get information about the table of contents. Fourth day, you can be sent books by the same author if you've still not bought. And fifth, books on the same theme. 5 additional opportunities to sell, each one with useful content which will delight the user, recipient. This is what we did with Kotak. We saw a 40% increase in opens, 3 emails sent one after another day. So first day, second day, third day, short emails, single screen. So it took their content. There's a call to action in each mail, but very short emails. And there are many different ideas. Ideally, brands should be sending out emails daily, informative mails, not just leave the promos, marketing messages aside. And these are some examples of what can be done. So create the mental availability via recency and frequency with EMS. Informative, so 80% is informative, and of course you'll have a link back to your website and so on. So EMS are a brand's hotline to customers, informative, short, in a series, and telling a story. And again, link it with atomic rewards. Incentivize streaks, so no mail goes unread. Finally, the last 2 ideas, hooked score and progency. So hooked score is a way to measure streaks. So essentially, idea is stickiness in emails. So we have all along the email industry, we've looked at opens and clicks and CTRs. How can we now go beyond that and measure individual engagement intensity, a single number which can measure stickiness and a streak? The focus has to shift to habit creation. So think of, we are still working on ideas, but one theme which we are building on is create a 30-day exponential moving average of email actions. So maybe it could be the last 10 actions or 15 actions based on the emails that you've sent. Give what an exponential moving average does is places greater weight and significance on the most recent data points. So the idea is a streak. That's what you want to drive for. So the end customer does not break in ignoring. There's no break by my emails being ignored. Next is progency. So think of this as a next-gen agency, an email 2.0 agency. So traditional email agencies have focused on creative content and campaign execution. Progency takes a full service approach, a templatized approach, builds on a full stack MarTech platform for email to execution, delivers KPIs, and therefore can be paid on performance. It combines left and right brain skills, and that's critical today. Campaign development strategy, creative content design with software coding, QA, analytics, all of it put together under one team. Possible use cases, to complement the brand's own team, reactivation of users, new user engagement, increasing hooked score. But the key is it builds on a automation, and a personalization platform. So it's not just creative, it builds on the product and left and right brain skills taken together. So if you want to see a email 2.0 demo, you can click on this QR code, or you can go to demo.muniverse.in. So the mu, and then it's basically muniverse.in. And then there are two options. You can either get an AMP demo or an email 2.0 demo. You'll get a number of mails. And then you have the demo code that you will need to enter is 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30. And the mails may come in your Gmail app, mail and in your promotions updates folder. So just make sure to check that out. Do try this out whenever you get. You'll see all of the elements in place, the AMP, the M's, the atomic rewards. It's a very simple one that we've put together so you can experience some of this. Make sure you enter your Gmail ID because as you know, AMP interactive mails will not work in other inboxes. So to summarize, think email 2.0, atomic rewards, interactive mails, informative series, essentially atomic rewards, AMP and M's. And the best way to get started is to look at an A/B test. Start with 50,000 users, take a database, try them out for run a few campaigns over 30 days. You can start with any of the ideas here, but ideally combine all of them together. So here's a 30-day plan for you to get started. Take 50,000 users, split them into two, a control group and a test group. Control group will get your regular emails. Test group gets the following emails. Day 147 can be mails introducing atomic rewards. The idea that, if you open this, you get mu. So explain to them this idea. Day 2 onwards, the regular campaigns, but with the mu for initially maybe opens and clicks. All emails to have AMP enabled rating option. Can convert some of the mails to AMP in case you have forms, etc., actions to be taken. Days 10 to 16, you can send out a series of M's on a specific theme. So just to check, the reactions of people. Day 20 to 26 can be a series of AMP games. For example, a relevant Wordle. Imagine that in the inbox, to reinforce a series of brand-related words which are there. And then track the hook score for both the groups. And I'm very confident you will see a significant increase in engagement with the email 2.0 ideas. So I write regularly on my blog, and there are a lot of ideas which I've talked about today have been covered. So you can go to Rajesh Jain, eponymous with my name, /marketing, and you'll get a lot of interesting columns that I've written over the past year. And if you want a copy of the deck, just email me, rajesh@netcorecloud.com, and I'll gladly send it to you. Thank you very much. And over to Smita. I'm sure we'll have some exciting questions to answer.
Definitely, Rajesh. We have received multiple questions. First, we'll take up questions related to atomic rewards. First question there is, can atomic rewards be combined with brand's loyalty program?
Oh, absolutely. So today, typically most brand loyalty programs reward people for spending money. It's on transactions. And there, the same points can now be given for attention and engagement. So very easy to add that. It'll require some amount of tech integration, but the brand already has the infra today. So instead of just giving it for transactions, move the incentives upstream, attention, engagement habits, because if you can get a customer or a prospect to spend more time with you, the transactions will happen. No one today incentivizes actions based on time. So I think you can be a real pioneer by leveraging the brand program. If you already have a loyalty program. And of course, if you don't, we'll be introducing the idea of brand tokens and Netcore hooks. So you'll have three options to choose from.
Next question that we have is a particularly interesting one. So you have talked about bringing habit revolution via email. But why not any other channel? In addition, if a brand wants to go through with email 2.0, in what span of time they can witness habit revolution in their client base?
Okay. So what can be done? So basically, the idea of atomic rewards, if we take, is not limited to just email. Email, I think, is a great first channel to essentially get going. It has the best ROI, $40 for every $1 spent. And the ROI can be increased dramatically. Imagine that ROI today is on probably 10 to 15% engagement rates, open rates in emails. Now imagine if that can go up 2 times, 3 times or more. Imagine the ROI impact on the brand. But this idea of atomic rewards can happen on all push channels, and it can happen also on the properties that the brand has. Push messages are especially important because see, there are only 3 ways a brand can bring their customers back to their property. Either you are a monopoly, in which case customers, of course, have no choice, or you have phenomenal branding like Amazon or Google or any of the other your favorite brands, where you know you want to buy something, you will just go to that app, open the app and do it. The third is you got to use push messages. There is no other fourth way. So the push messages are very important to get people back. And if people ignore your push messages, it doesn't work very well for you. So push messages are basically emails, SMSs can be sent out. It can be push notifications, which are there. It can be WhatsApp or Facebook Messenger, iMessages, which are there. Anything which you can push, which you want the end customer to actually see and act on, attention and engagement. That is where you can build in micro incentives. So think of atomic rewards as a way to nudge customers for the actions that you desire. And in today's context, there's a great need to get zero-party data also. You want customers to basically tell you more about themselves. Again, give them small incentives. It's exactly the Google Boston Consulting Group study that I mentioned. So there are multiple different approaches. Push messages, you can include it on, you can have, again, nudges through atomic rewards on the brand properties. And you can even use it for with QR codes. Typically, when ads are run, there's many times a QR code now on ads which are there or on hoardings. Now imagine if people click on the QR code, watch a video or download something, you can ask them 1 or 2 questions and then reward them, incentivize them for actually taking the action that you want. So I believe that the broader theme of attention is really where you need to look at atomic rewards. And I think the applications are vast. Email is one example which I talked about today, but of course it can be used in many different ways. Yes, Smita.
So in the interest of time, we'll take one last question. As EMs are mainly for informational purpose, they are mainly informative in nature, not promotional. How can brands measure ROI of their campaigns in this case?
Okay, very good point. So what are we doing with EMs? Today, if you think about the emails that we actually open on a regular basis, it's the one typically from media properties. Okay, look at Wall Street Journal, Financial Times. I'm sure a lot of us subscribe to media emails, opt-ins to your own favorite media brands. They'll typically be sending out an email every day, pretty much at the same time, in some cases customized to your interests. So we are opening those mails because, again, and it's very important for them because the action of clicking through to their website or app is really where they get the advertising dollars coming in. So the idea here is that how can we make EMs like a media platform does? Something useful. We open those mails because we find something useful. So for example, it's that slide which I had shown of the various ideas of daily EMs. If you are a pharma company or a company in health, you can send out short health tips every day. Now, it does not matter if people can go on Wikipedia or anywhere else on the internet and find health tips. The fact that it's being pushed to them, the fact that they can read it in 15 seconds or 30 seconds is what is going to make them open and read. It's that short attention span that we are basically targeting. Now, the question which was asked is how do you ensure that, how do you measure out here? Because there is no direct action of clicking through. You measure with the streak. So how many mails were opened and read? Okay, you can actually measure, track that. And what you want to be able to do is the idea of a streak. Okay, and that's where, again, an incentive can work very well. Like in media brands, all mails, typically most mails are basically read. We don't want to miss out on anything. The same way, if we make EMs like that, then people, after a certain point of time, it will become a habit. And that's really what we want. So the way you would do it is the first mail, you give one mew. Second mail in the series, which is read, 2 mew, 3 mew, 4 mew. After the 6th mail or 7th mail, every additional mail you reward with 7 mew. If the person misses one, they go back to 1. And that is what will drive the creation of a streak. You don't want to miss out on the points, especially if there's some valuable rewards in the mew shop or with the brand loyalty program that are there. So the idea of a streak can, combined with rewards, can actually drive the M's becoming a habit in people's lives. Yeah, Smita, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Rajesh. Thanks a lot, Rajesh, for taking us through the new realms of email innovation. This sets the foundation for the rest of the series. We will continue exploring the world of email 2.0 in our next episodes, where Rajesh will be joined by Akhil Kamlasan, Senior Marketing Manager at Big Basket, and they'll discuss how Big Basket used email 2.0 to introduce gamification in their campaigns. Stay tuned for the next episode.